Look at the service here. How smoky it is out here. Old Tang Stang. Old Kennedy over there. Enrique. If you haven't followed him on Instagram, Easy MTZ, most popular truck right now. Look at it. So Harper brought his SN95 out. It's an LS Turbo. And got Enrique's car over here. So Enrique, he's gonna make some test hits, and then he's probably gonna run, I think, the 950 or the 10.0 class in his clean ass truck. And then Harper and myself will be in the street racer heads up quarter-mile class. So typically I'll do like small tire in this class, but my car's just not fast enough for small tire. So, and I kind of want to focus on quarter-mile since we are going to FL2K, which we'll talk about in another video. But FL2K is coming up in October, so we need some quarter-mile hits today for that. We are doing a burnout contest right now, and then we got a driver's meeting here at 4 o'clock, and then hopefully we'll go make some test passes, kind of see how good the track is, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna set it at after that. Kennedy, thoughts on today's actions?
Better be taking that W home. Or else.
Or else what? I'm trying to think of something witty to say and you can't come up with it.
I'll think of it after.
Alright, well, let us know in the next one.
Turn it off and let me think about it.
Alright, let us know in the next one. Oh, Kennedy all buckled in.
Ready.
So we got the cruise going on here. And this is Harper right there. And a bunch of other race cars going on.
Just taking our streetcar out for a nice little cruise.
The race car can't take corners, man. Look at me.
How many miles did they say this was? Do you remember?
It's only like 16.
Oh. We'll be fine. Factory dash. Oh yeah, super smooth. Oh.
Look at that. Sexy.
Oh look, it's Chase. Well, we made it back alive.
Harper's over here freaking racing people.
Yeah, y'all missed it. We forgot to film that one. You got a little squirmy there.
Alright guys, so we just got back from the cruise, cooling off the cars. So got some fans on Harper's car, charging my battery, drained some water out already. Got the fan on it, just trying to cool it off. It's not too bad today. I mean, it's probably still, I bet, 75, 80 degrees. Thought it'd be a little bit cooler today because it rained last night, but the humidity here is not very good. But we're about to go make a test pass here in probably like the next 20-30 minutes. Just need the cars to cool off, and then we'll ice it down. Probably gonna do a similar tune-up to the one I had in Wichita, because the track, I haven't been up there yet, but I think it's probably gonna be about the same, because Wichita wasn't that great, but it did have some prep on it. So we'll see, and if it spins off the hit, then we'll have to turn it down a little bit and maybe adjust the shocks. But I adjusted them back to where they were because the car was in Amarillo last, and so we had it squatting a lot and it had a bunch of weight in it. We took all the weight out, and we'll see if it's gonna get down this first pass.
Keep an eye on this Mustang here in the near lane. Looking at all the turbo sounds, the noises, the sparks.
Alright guys, the freaking battery was dead. barely got it started, and I just have to keep it running in the lanes. And there's actually only 4 people in our class, so we don't even get we usually qualify, but we're not qualifying this time. So just going straight into it. Got to race the fast twin turbo CTSV. Just gonna see what it does.
Oh my god! That's so awesome. Doing what?
That's a 7, call for a floating coconut?
What?
The vlog doesn't know what that means.
Tell the vlog what just happened.
Ran a 7, baby!
Woo! And?
Well, we
You
won.
won!
There's 4 cars in the class, but
Hey,
don't tell them that.
You still won! Okay, we're gonna load her up and get some cash money.
Actually, it was only 3. Yeah, it was just 3.
Oh yeah. Michael,
One didn't do worth a fuck.
didn't do so well.
All right, here we go. Another t-shirt coming your way.
All right, guys, we made it back at like 4:30 a.m. from Tulsa, Oklahoma, streetcar takeover. It was an awesome weekend, to say the least, I guess. It started out really good. We did the cruise, did like a 20-mile cruise, and the car was running awesome. Temps were good, everything was good with the car. And get the car back to the staging lanes, have about like an hour left to get testing, and get the car ready to go test, and didn't want to start up. And now, I've had electrical issues before. I've gone through a few batteries in that car. I kind of need to track down like what's making this car die all the time, but that's for another video. But anyways, I always kind of just leave the car on the charger, so I even left it on the charger and it didn't want to start. So, jumped the car, was able to get it running, and drove it up to the lanes, and got into the lanes, was ready to go, got strapped in, pulled my little on-off switch, and the car was completely dead. It did not want to kick over. So from the time driving it in the lot to the staging lanes, the car after that had no battery. So I think maybe the alternator's on its way out. It's not recharging the battery, but so I pull off to the side. I have my buddy Enrique, EasyMTZ on Instagram, who helped me out a ton that night. He went and got a buddy's truck, and they came back, jumped the car, and the only problem was that I was in the radial prep lane for testing, so by the time I got the car jumped and ready to go, I had to actually go behind like an F-150 that had all-terrain tires. So I had to go in the street tire lane, but made a decent pass. It's funny because that first pass off the trailer, after all the issues, getting back from the cruise and then the car not wanting to start, it goes a personal best. It goes like 18. I think it was like 8:16. Personal best, went like 172 mile an hour, but it was super slow to the 60 foot. My 8th mile time was slow for my car. It's gone faster. And you'll find out that actually I've been faster in the 8th mile. So the car actually has gone faster than it did last night, but it just didn't want to work that great last night. So make that pass. I started pulling the chute because I'm trying to save the new brakes that I just put on it. So I'm trying to get in the habit of pulling the chute and packing it and doing all that good stuff. So I pulled the chute, got the car back around, and everyone's all excited, like, man, you went 18s. And I was like, yeah, but the car felt like crap. So the car only went like 129 60 foot. It just felt super slow, and obviously it had some power up top to go 172. And so I knew at that point, like, man, the car's right there to run a 7, but at the same time, we have eliminations coming up. So got the one test pass. Now, typically in Street Racer, the next pass you make is actually a qualifying pass, and then they break up Street Racer into 2 different groups, kind of like the rest of the races, but there wasn't enough cars. There's only 4 cars. So I'm now in the staging lanes, or not in the staging lanes, I'm back at the pits trying to get my car ready to go up there thinking I have a test pass, and the car is completely dead again. It was on the charger the whole time. The car's cooled off, ready to go, but it was on. I always leave it on the charger the whole time, and it just did not want to charge. So we tried jumping it. It wouldn't work. I started getting kind of upset with the car, and I was touching the ground wire. I was like, man, the ground wire is super hot, and so obviously one of the ground wires had come loose. So I replaced that ground wire with a new one for the battery, and then we jumped it, car got started, and I started driving up to the lanes, and John's calling me. He's running the lanes of Streetcar Takeover, and he tells me, better get your ass up here because we are waiting on you. We're about to run right now. And I thought this whole time, like, man, it should be a test pass. Like, if I miss my qualifying pass, oh well, just put me in a group. And I get up there, and we're doing round 1 because there's only 4 cars. There's myself, Harper, Justin White's Turbo CTSV, and then a Turbo Fox body. And so there's only 4 of us, so they weren't going to do a qualifying pass. They were just going to run round 1. So I drew the CTSV, and so since my car died, or my car was having trouble starting, I just literally drove it to the lanes and left it running. And luckily they let us go ahead of another group, but my car was already sitting for like 20 minutes just because I couldn't let it turn off because I didn't think it would turn back on. So did that, went 8.0 at 170 mile an hour because I actually let off up top because I was far enough out ahead and the car was running super hot. So I wanted to be easy on it, but it did go 8.0s. It was literally right there. Still slow 60 foot, only 129. And so we got the car back around, and so technically the next race was going to be the finals for Street Racer. So we cooled the car off, and then they had some oil downs and some other stuff happened, and literally we didn't race for the next 2 to 3 hours, I think it was. It was a long time. And I had Kennedy go get a battery before round 1 actually, so now she had to come back, had a brand new battery, put the battery in, and just kept doing the same thing. I just charged it, drove it to the lanes. And so I only had 1 more pass. We didn't really want to stay. My intent was to go some rounds, and then once I got out, I was going to make some test hits after because they let you do test and tune, but it was already getting super late, so my last pass was also the final pass for the finals in Street Racer. And so I turned it up a little bit up top. I turned up the launch a little bit to see if we could get the 60 foot better because the track was taking it, but I also... like, this is the difference between like going and testing tuning, trying to run records, and then actually trying to go rounds. It's like, I wanted to turn it up because I wanted to go with 7, but I didn't want to turn it up too much where I was gonna blow the tires off and lose the race. I'm like, man, I'm in the finals of Streetcar Takeover. This is awesome. I kind of want to win. So I turned it up just a little on the hit, just a little up top, and the car made a freaking pass. Now, still not my best 60 foot. It was only 126. It usually goes 120s, 122s. Usually like a 124 is slow for my car. It went a 126, so it went a little bit faster than the previous passes that night. It went 516 to the 8th, which has been faster than the 8th. I haven't shared that time, but it has been faster than a 516. Still pretty quick. And then went 797 at 175 mile an hour. Now the mile an hour I was really happy about because that's what John Lund Jr. wanted to see out of it. He wanted to see 175 mile an hour. And it went 175 mile an hour. So that was pretty awesome. Kennedy was so excited. Everyone was so excited. And I wasn't like, I was happy, but at the same time I was like, man, I know it should go so much faster. But that's part of racing. It's like you're trying to win. Are you trying to win the race, or are you trying to run a record and personal best? And I just wanted to win the race, and I happened to run a 7 at the same time. So that's pretty awesome. I got some videos coming up. I've got some big announcements on races I'm going to. And we've got a lot of maintenance to do on the car. We got a bunch of little things we got to do to get it ready for these next few races, but you guys will see that in the next few videos. Some big announcements. So huge thanks to everyone involved. Huge thanks to Michael and Matt for driving and helping out and pitting. Huge thanks to Enrique for helping me get the car charged up. Huge thanks to Kennedy, all of her support. She's awesome. She's always willing to travel, and I'm always like, hey, let's go do this race, and she's like, okay, let's go. So Kennedy is super awesome, super supportive. She's really cool. I love her. And huge thanks to all the companies that have been involved in this build. It's been, the car should have gone 7s a long time ago, but it is really hard to go 7s. It's just that like next threshold. It's just tough to get. But now that weight is off my shoulders and I can just go race now. I just want to go win some stuff. I want to go have some fun with some friends. I want to go racing, be competitive. And if the car runs a number at the end of the day, that's really cool too. So huge thanks to RPG Engines. Freaking awesome engine built by Will over there. RPG Engines, that thing is stout. If you guys need any engines, hit up RPG. Will Rollins, he is the man. Huge thanks Streetcar Joe, Mr. Joseph Young. Badass custom single turbo kit. We are the first people to do a single turbo on the 2018 Mustang. And it's custom, which is cool. It's built just for me. And I think obviously we gotta put a bigger turbo on it now. But that turbo kit runs so good, and Joe, obviously, he always helps me out. And we do have an update coming on his Fox body, I promise you. I've just been super busy, and I went out of town racing. And so, but huge thanks to him. He's always been an awesome help. He's a good friend, and pretty lucky to have Joe on my side, seriously. Like, anytime I go out racing, I'm like, Joe, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And he's like, all right, let's do this. And we meet somewhere in the middle, and the car makes a damn good pass. So, huge thanks to Joe. He's actually taking on some side work. Only like probably bigger custom jobs, but if you guys want like some really badass wiring jobs like a Holley EFI or AEM or something, or if you want a custom turbo kit, he'll do stuff like that. He's not doing like little odds and ends. He really just wants to take on like big custom jobs. So hit him up on Instagram if you're interested. Huge thanks to Lund Racing. They have been so awesome to me. Their customer service is unreal. John Lund Jr. is freaking amazing, man. The tune on that car is so spot on. Just little minor tweaks here and there, but really the car like is technically like on the same tune all the time. We're just adjusting boost, you know, what's gonna leave on, ramp, overall top end boost. And but the car just, man, it is so consistent how it runs. And you know, I took it on the cruise and the drivability is freaking amazing. And obviously my car's like on another level, so like a car like that to be able to go make cruises and run just fine, not overheat, and the Lambda and everything's in good, you know, everything is just perfect. So the shout out to those guys, just awesome tuning. If you guys need some tuning done, Lund Racing, they are literally the mod motor kings over there. Huge thanks BMR suspension. You can actually use my code VANV39. I run all BMR suspension. I literally have everything in their catalog. Minus like a few small things I need to switch over, like some bushings and stuff, but the main stuff, I have all their stuff. So if you guys want to hit up BMR suspension, Dion Forbes, he's been super awesome to me, him and Jonathan Cutler over there. And they have some super awesome products. You can use my code in the link in the description below. Huge thanks to Viking coilovers. Those front coilovers keep that front end down. The car is working really well how we have the suspension set up right now. I did lower the front end. If you guys didn't see the other video, I lowered the front end, kept the back up just a little bit to create a little bit better rake. And then we stiffened up the rear a little bit. And it has just been making some really good passes. So the car has been working so well. Huge thanks to a few other companies. Lethal Performance, I'm still running their fuel system and it is working phenomenal. It's their triple pump system. I've had it ever since I did the turbo kit in the car and it has worked flawlessly. So huge thanks to those guys over there. Lethal Performance. Motion Raceworks has been awesome. They've really helped me out with some things on the car, and the car just flat out works. Like, it just works. Now, it should go a lot faster, and you know, we weren't in the best air. It was real humid yesterday. It was hot, so we're still in summertime. So once it cools off, obviously the car's gonna go faster. We can throw some more boost at it, but really, I just wanna go freaking racing. And you know what really makes this car run well is that right there. That one ethanol fuel, that stuff is awesome. So hopefully guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I didn't forget anybody. I probably did, but it was a long night. We got home at 4:30 a.m. and it's like 10 a.m. I didn't even sleep that much. But I gotta go get the car. It's at Harper's house And it's always a fun time going to Street Car Takeover. If you guys have never been to those events, make sure you go out to them. They go to a lot of cities, and they're just an awesome time. They have literally classes for everybody. So huge thanks to you guys for following along on the build. I know I don't upload as many racing videos as I'd like, but I can't just go racing all the time. I would love to, but I can't. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Comment down below what you think of the pass. And hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully you subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.